Hi everyone, today I wanted to talk to you about how I print my pictures for my Project Life album. I mostly print 3x4 images, 3x3 images and the occasional 6x4 image. I read in the Facebook groups and on forums that some people struggle with how to print these slightly odd sizes. I use Photoshop to collate all my images and then get them printed at my local printers, which is Jessup's, and then I trim them and put them in the pockets where they fit perfectly. So today I'm going to show you how I do that and how I collate them and get them sent to print. I do have the latest version of Photoshop, but you can do this with any of the other versions. They're very similar keys and menus, etc., that I'm going to show you today just to give you an idea. I'm by no means an expert at Photoshop, but I do know the basics. That's pretty much what I'm going to be using to show you today. So I go to File, New, and first of all I create a 4x6 photo. And I make sure it is at 300 dpi resolution. If I am doing 3x4 pictures, when I print them, I generally go to my local lab shop, which is Jessup's. I print most of my pictures at 3x4, as I'm currently using a 9x12 album and I will be moving to a 6x8 album. So 3x4 is the pretty standard size. First thing I do is down the side here, you will see I have set up the rulers. For that, you can go to View and Show Rulers. Okay, so that's just turn them off for me, but I like to have them on. So I then drag one halfway and you can see that I do it at the 3-inch mark. Now I want to find my pictures to turn into a 3x4 to place in this 6x4 template. I store all my pictures on my hard drive and I'm currently working with October. I've gone through and flagged the photos that I like, particularly if I am catching up. If I'm doing it as of, if I'm documenting a couple of weeks ago, they're pretty fresh in my mind, so I kind of roughly remember which one's the best ones. But for this purpose of going through, I'll just have a quick look kind of on them as a larger screen and then pick which one I prefer. So I know that I would like this picture as a 3x4. What I've done there is drag it into the template. That is one option that you can do, okay? But not particularly how I like to work. I like to get the sizing right to start with. I can either control and open with Photoshop or whatever program you're using, or I drag it into Photoshop just as a separate document. And then I crop it as a 3x4. In your crop tool, I've set it as a 3x4 image with again a 300 dpi resolution, because then I know it's going to match my 6x4 template. And then just line it up to kind of how I want it. Now that is a 3x4 image. There might be quicker ways of doing this, there probably is. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but this is just the method that I use, and once you keep doing it, you kind of get into a routine. So all I've done there is drag this image separately kind of out of Photoshop, so then I can just drag it in, and then as you can see it fits perfectly and lines up with those lines. So there I have a 3x4 image, and then I don't want to save that one, and then I can just do the same again. Find the other image that I want as a 3x4 image, which I think is a picture of the dog, which I've got here. Drag it into Photoshop, crop it as a 3x4. I might just crop that very slightly and straighten it up so the horizon's a little bit straighter. There we go. Pop it out of Photoshop, back to your move tool, and then drag it into the document. And there you have a 6x4 image ready to print. To be able to do that, we do File, Save As. There are lots of quick keys that you can use, like Shift, Control, S. I'm more of a mouse clicker. I've never being more keyboardy, if that makes sense. So I go to File and Save As. And then what I want to do is save these in a separate folder so I know where they are when I come to print them. The same as probably if you're printing them at home, you could still use this method. I like to do a new folder on my desktop, so I can do to print. And then to be able to take this to a photo lab, Jessup's, I need to save it as a JPEG. So I'm just going to call it, I'm working in October, so October 1, for example. And then format needs to be a JPEG. So now this file is saved as a JPEG. I want it on maximum quality because I want it to look nice and sharp when it's printed. Click OK. And then that should now be, if I go to desktop, that is in there as a JPEG image. Photoshop is natively a RAW program, so it deals with RAW files or Photoshop files. That is why you manually have to change it to JPEG. You can set up actions which change it to JPEGs for you, but I haven't done that. You get into the routine of just file saving as JPEG. If that's too many clicks or it is a bit faffy, if you know Photoshop quite well, you can set up quick keys to help you do that. Now you can carry on doing that. So for example, another 6x4 image that I might want to use. So find me my photos, working in October. I know I want to use this picture as a 3x4 in the album as well. So again, drag it into Photoshop. I'm going to crop it using the crop tool. It still remembers that I want it as 3x4. Pull it out of Photoshop and drag it in as a new layer. Photoshop works with layers. So as you can see here now, I've kind of got a photo on top of a photo. So if I hide that one, I can see the old picture. What I normally do is when I've finished with them, I just delete the layers and then I've got this as a 3x4. And then I can find another image to, again, 3x4 and drag into the photo. And again, same principle, file, save as. I'm going to call this one October 2. Format, JPEG, save. I'm finished with my 3x4 pictures. I now want to do, let's have that one. I now want to do some 3x3 pictures. The best way I find to print 3x3 pictures is on a 9x6 image. So I've got it set up here as a custom, but in your new document, 9 inches by 6 inches, landscape orientation, and then what is it, a 300 resolution again. And then create. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to set up roughly where my 3x3 pictures would be. So on a 9x6 image, I can get 6 3x3s. And then I'm going to do very similar to what I did before. So find the image that I want cropped as a 3x3, a square picture, drag it into Photoshop, and I want it as a 3x3. Again, 300 dpi just to make sure it matches the template image. And I'm just going to crop that a little bit tighter. Okay, I'm happy with that crop. Pull the image out and drag it in. And then it fits perfectly in my guidelines. And I know then that when I trim that, obviously the guidelines don't show when printing for these in Photoshop, but I know that all these images, when I guillotine them, are going to be the right size. So same thing again, I know I want this picture crop as 3x3. I'll leave a bit of the, I'll leave more of the background in. Crop, pop it out of Photoshop, so it's kind of a floating image, shall we say, and drag it into place. So there we have my 9x6. Now, I forgot to say that sometimes when they are in the original image, obviously I will, once I've cropped them, I might adjust the brightness or contrast. So I'm not going to go into too much of that. There's loads of tutorials on that. But adjustments, levels, you can brighten it, darken it. And this one just needs a little bit more contrast in it. Or you can do it within the layer itself. So as long as you're on the right layer in Photoshop, you can do exactly the same. Image adjustments, levels, and there we go. That picture's just a little bit darker. All the rest are fine. They're off my proper camera. A couple of these are off my phone, so just to give them a bit more contrast. But I'm quite happy with the other ones. So I'm happy to file, save as, and October 3. All you just need to remember is to obviously print them on the machine as a 9x6 image. So don't send them all through 6x4s. You can call them something different, but to be honest, I don't think you see the file names when you print them on the machines at the Photoshops. You can't on my local one anyway. So I just know that the grid ones are the 9x6s. So save as, JPEG, you want it as the highest quality, okay. So on my file on my desktop, you will see that I then have my completed 6x4 images and my 9x6 images ready to put on a memory stick to take to the printers. Here are the images as they printed out. So that is the 9x6 that I collated with the 3x3 images. And I did another one. And the 6x4 photos as well. So here is the finished layout using my 3x3 images, and then the 3x4s guillotined up and placed in their pockets for my finished October spread. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.